Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, the content for this episode of Bullet Points this morning, we are going to talk about what just passed a House panel that is now heading over to Nancy Pelosi in the main chamber of the House. Now, of course, it's gun control related, and it's called the Protecting Our Kids Act. But there's so much information, there's so much stuff that's being thrown against the wall right now, it's incredibly important to understand what is going on in the fog of war. What's important, what's not important, what do we need to focus on to preserve our rights and pass them on to the next generation, and that is what we're aiming to do on this channel. Now, we need as many people as you can think of. Send it out to anybody that you want. Make sure you are subscribed and that bell turned on so we can get this information to you quickly, so we can activate when we need to when the time is right. Now, with that said, I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor, and then we're going to talk about what passed the House panel, which is going to the House, and might have a surprising ending for those of you who are not aware of what's going on. But now, like I said, our sponsor is SDI. We're going to hit it and hit it hard on the other side. I know a lot of you out there like to repair and upgrade your own guns. If you're looking for a way to take your hobby to the next level, Sonoran Desert Institute can help. The online programs at SDI cover armor courses, gunsmithing, ballistics, woodworking and finishes, shooting sports management, and more. Plus, the tools and materials are shipped directly to your door. There's never been a better time to dive into development for yourself for something you can actually use, and there's a link in the description box below so you can find out more. And thank you so much from SDI to making this video possible. But now, let's dive into this because this is really important information that we need to spread out and be aware of so we are at the top of our knowledge game on this. House panel advances gun bill after recent situations. Now, this came out today. It's from the AP. It's really important as I set this up and I walk you through, listen to even where the AP goes, because this is important because they know this has a very specific future. Washington AP. A House panel advanced legislation Thursday that would raise the age limit for purchasing a semi-automatic rifle from 18 to 21 as Democrats move quickly to put their stamp on gun legislation in response to the situations. I find that verbiage fascinating. Make sure they put a stamp on it. It went from putting a stamp on it to actually helping something. But I find that fascinating. But you know what? When emotion is high, make sure you can get away with whatever you want, right? Anyway, let's keep going. Partisan positions were clear at the Judiciary Committee hearing, which lasted more than 9 hours. In addition to raising the age limit for purchasing semi-automatic rifles, the bill would also make it a federal offense to import, manufacture, or possess large-capacity magazines and would create a grant program to buy back such magazines. Now, this is a smattering of bills put out by Jerry Nadler. There's 8 of them, okay? The reason that I'm bringing to this kind of in this piecemeal fashion is I want to show you what they're doing based off of emotion and where it's going to go once it gets to the House, because the House is kind of a paper tiger right now, so we're going to get to that in 1 second. And also, there was federal rulings on the East Coast and the West Coast that says raising the limit from 18 to 21 on firearms is unconstitutional. Just saying, but they're going to do it anyway because, you know, they want to. The Democratic legislation called the Protecting Our Kids Act was quickly added to the legislative docket after last week's situation. Nancy Pelosi, Democrat California, promised in a letter to Democratic colleagues Thursday that the House would vote on the measure next week, and she promised other votes in the weeks ahead, which is why we've got to stay vigilant. You guys have got to be aware and subscribe to the channel so we can get it to you quickly. On a bill to create an Amber Alert style notification during a situation, Pelosi also pledged a hearing on a bill banning military-style semi-automatic rifles. Okay. Again, fog of war, let's put that over there. We got to focus on what actually has a chance here. But with Republicans nearly all in opposition, the House action will mostly be symbolic. And that's really important because even the AP, who is writing to a left-leaning audience, says it's going to be symbolic. Because you still have to get over that 60th vote threshold in the filibuster in the Senate. They don't really focus on this because they want to say, look what I'm doing for my own political future, which is really, really gross. But let's continue. The Senate is taking a different course, with a bipartisan group striving towards a compromise on gun safety legislation that can win enough GOP support to become law. Those talks are making rapid progress, according to Susan Collins of Maine. Now, we're going to actually talk about that a lot more in depth. Right now, I'm going to stick to what's actually going through the House committee, which is going to go to the House. But don't worry, that senator negotiation thing that Collins is referring to, focus like a laser on that one because that's where we need to be looking. Representative Dan Bishop, Republican North Carolina, pointed to a U.S. appeals court ruling last month, however, that found California's ban on the sale of semi-automatic weapons to adults under 21 unconstitutional. It is unconstitutional. It's not difficult to see that it is, but they're going to pass it anyway. This is when you get into that zone of emotion overriding logic and reason. They know it's unconstitutional. They know it's not going to pass. They know it's not going to go anywhere in the Senate, and yet they do it anyway. That's incredibly important because the people who are making these decisions are basing these decisions off of raw emotion. And that's not always a great thing when you have the realms and levers of power over the world's most powerful nation. Any legislative response to the situation will have to get through an evenly divided Senate where support from at least 10 Republicans will be needed and advance the measure to a final vote. A group of senators has been working privately this week in hopes of finding a consensus, and that's referring back to that same negotiation. The main thing here is the AP made this entire article about the House panel passing these gun control bills, and in the end of the article they even say it's much ado about nothing, it's completely symbolic. When you are looking at the situations that we're looking at right now, with the levers of power in Washington, with the players, they're going to have you look right over here while everything else is happening right over here. Watch the other hand, because this stuff, even the AP is saying, it's mostly symbolic. It was full of fire and fury, but amounted to nothing. Little classical education for you. But then the Senate over here is talking about these negotiations, and we're going to cover that because I've got another report coming on that, and that is where the real meat is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below. Make sure you are subscribed and you got that bell turned on because this is ever evolving, and I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. segment. I'm Braden. See you later.